Hello, everyone. You're listening to Northern Flights, a Park Pro podcast keeping you up to date with the people, tournaments, and culture of disc golf in Canada and beyond. Consider becoming a Patreon today at patreon.com/parkpro. Find us on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. Today's episode is brought to you by DiscGolfPark. And now your hosts, Andre, Jesse, and Matt.
And for the final time, live in studio, for now, Max Rigginick.
The finale.
Yeah.
Finale episode.
We will get to that in a minute. On today's episode, we're going to go through some news and notes from around the disc golf world, both locally and down south, globally, wherever. We're going to get into the Las Vegas Challenge review. And of course, Max is leaving too. So we have some questions that we asked our Instagram audience, and Max is going to answer every single one.
Nice.
All right. So we'll end on Max here, but how are you guys doing, Matt and Jesse? You guys play any disc golf lately? Let's start with Jesse first.
No, I had a real bad thing. So no, I had to hide. Did I play any disc golf lately? No. Unfortunately not. Yeah, can't say I've done much other than start tidying up my giant pile of discs I had in my spare bathroom. I pulled 80 discs out of my yard that I'd thawed out of the snow from my single throw fieldwork sessions I did every day on the way to work. Threw them in the bathtub and gave them a scrub, and they come back to life.
Scrub-a-dub-dub.
Yeah, minus a couple fallen soldiers. Just recataloging all of my Frisbees. Very exciting stuff.
Nerds.
Very exciting. Matt, I heard you played in a tournament last weekend.
I'm just going to hide myself like Jesse did. I technically played a tournament on the weekend.
Tundra
Toss.
Nice.
Look, it was a great time. I had two awesome cards, and I got to play with some people that I haven't seen in a while. And, I made a couple of big putts out there, and I like having a lower rating going into the year, so I have some, appreciable gains throughout the summer. Yeah.
Nice.
So it didn't go very well. But channel favorite Jeremy Gauthier took down the win in MPO on the final hole, winning by 1 over Chad Gamlin, RPM-sponsored player out of Edmonton. It was a very exciting finish. A lot of fun to watch.
Nice. That's great. And Max, how was your week?
It's good.
Good news.
Yes, the RV is coming together. We're days away.
All right. That's exciting.
Plan was maybe tomorrow, but still working out when I can be at the warehouse in Colorado. So I'm going to time that for when I'm allowed to be there. So looking like Monday in Colorado. So I'll probably leave Friday or Saturday, depending on how much driving I want to do per day. And then it's about 10 hours from there to Waco.
Makes sense. And just to be clear, the original plan was to leave either today or yesterday, but you decided you needed to stay on the pod one last time for the fans.
Of course.
For the fans.
Give the people what they want.
It makes sense. Love it. All right, let's get into some news and notes. Rusty Rating Series registration. We are recording this on Wednesday, and it's going to open up in about 10 minutes from the time that we are recording. Jesse's getting ready to sign up for every single event.
That doesn't seem fair.
And we are very happy to announce that, actually, it's kind of a funny story. So last week, pretty much right after the episode, we got a new patron. And he goes by the name of Taylor from Limber Disc Golf. He started supporting the page, and I had already had it in my plans to contact him to see if he was interested in helping us out with the Rusty Ratings, just doing prizing and that kind of stuff, just to make it a little bit better and polish it off a little bit. And he is in. So he is the title sponsor of the 4 Rusty Rating series that we're running, and then and then Casey Hannemeyer, of course. That one is sponsored by Save On Foods. Gander, and
Many
Prodigy-
other local
Prodigy.
businesses in
Yeah.
Cranbrook that support all of their disc golf.
Exactly.
Events. Cranbrook comes out big.
Yeah, and that one, of course, is the 2-day event. Registration for that is already open, and by the time you're hearing this, registration will be open for SU Rating. So get onto Disc Golf Scene and sign up for those. These are, I think, in the description I listed them as low cost, low guff tournaments. So
define guff.
Yeah, I was just going to
just
ask.
means like less work for the TDs, less work to get to, and you don't have to worry about
No
camping
frills.
necessarily. Exactly.
No, I was looking for like the Oxford English version here.
Oh,
Of Latin origin.
Low guff. You don't take a lot of flack. Now define flack. No. They are really easy tournaments, though. If they're anything like last year, you pay less than any other tournament. As far as I know, you can play the entire series here for the cost of one B tier registration anywhere in the area, or like 75% the cost of like any of the A tiers in Canada. So super, super cheap. You get 4 tournaments for less than the price of one. Show up, have some fun, get prized out by Limber.
yeah.
It's going to be a good time.
Yep. And of course, there are some discs here that you can choose from as well. So yes, very exciting stuff. All right. Now that we got that out of the way,
Wait,
let's
one
get
more.
All right. One more.
We also have a very special thanks for our friend Dan in Saskatchewan for supporting the podcast.
That's right.
Dan, can't thank you enough. We'll make sure to see through the vision and make it something cool. So shout out to Dan, big supporter.
Yeah. And obviously, once again, our sponsor, Disc Golf Park.
Yeah.
We're not going to do the ad read yet. That's scheduled for later. But why don't we get into just a quick little LVC review, the winners of the MPO and FPO. If you have not heard, Katrina Allen takes down the FPO.
Spoilers.
In no spoilers.
Okay, if there's no spoilers, then why did Matt get mad at me at the Up and Down last year for telling him that Eagle played well at European Open?
Because we were both on a golf course. You know that I have no way to watch a round of disc golf if I'm on the same card as you playing disc golf. This is a very different situation.
First of all, we're not on the same card, and I was looking at UDisc for European Open more than I was looking at UDisc for my own round, so there is a way to know.
All right, I accept both of those.
Makes sense. In the MPO division, Calvin Heimberg comes back and takes it. I would say takes it from Kevin Jones. He had a solid back 9 in the last round to take the win. So that
Came
was
down to the wire.
yeah,
That was exciting.
very exciting. That's I think, I don't know if I mentioned on the podcast or if that was when we were off air last time, but one of my say what you want about the courses in Las Vegas. That's one of my favorite hole 18s. I don't know. It's beautiful.
It sets up for fireworks.
Yeah,
for sure.
and there's so much OB and so much danger, and I really like it.
But
So,
pretty brutal wind drop for Kevin Jones.
yes, that was very sad.
Looked fine.
Yeah,
Had, I want to say, just as much height as Calvin, but I think the hyzer release for him just ruined it.
yeah,
Because it's coming out on hyzer, that left to right wind just smashed it down. Where Calvin's just throwing it flat and it just cuts through the wind better.
yeah.
But gave it a good run on 18. Had to throw
close.
it in, and was probably 30 centimeters too high from just harding it.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
For our Americans, that's about inch,
30 centimeters.
30 centimeters.
but
You ever looked at one of those rulers?
I'm thinking 30 millimeters. No,
I was gonna say 3 decimeters actually.
30 centimeters. No, it was.
Well, because it like hit the flag.
I thought it hit the it landed. It hit the top of the.
Yeah, like skipped
All right.
off the top of the cage.
Yeah.
It caught
But
some
all right,
bucket.
if you're just under the band,
See, I
it's
thought
probably not staying.
that's when you said that. Well, I thought I took it as 30 millimeters. I thought you were giving him the benefit of the doubt. I was going to say it was about 100 millimeters.
100 millimeters, aka
4 inches.
10 centimeters.
10 centimeters.
AKA roughly 4 inches. It
There
was
you go.
close. It was a good
it's
shot.
Very close. All right. And as far as Canadians in the Las Vegas Challenge, how did they do, Matt?
Well, not great. Thomas Gilbert had a bit of a rough start, missed the cut, missed the cash, and came up in a tie for 77th. Not spectacular, but he had a good final round. And Chris Ozelins also played, and he finished in a tie for 96th. So
Top
respectable,
100, baby.
but
Tough
some
week,
work
tough
to
week.
do for both of them. Yeah.
But Thomas
and then we
did
also had some-
go back to back as the distance champ for
Oh
LBC.
my
That he did.
God.
He threw 774 or something. Like
Yeah.
that? Huge.
Unbelievable. Huge.
Yeah, I think he's going to put his game together again. His when he
discs.
came onto the tour,
New bag.
new discs, new bag. I feel like if he can get his putting back in shape, that'll be a big deal. Because when he got onto the tour, that was kind of his calling card. Was he could throw really far and he was deadly from 45 feet and in. So
A double
think we'll
G
get it back.
Emperor was the disc, by the way. Now that it's coming out of my memory to cut you off.
Nice.
Dipping into the infinite lineup.
Innova molded.
Innova molded. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't see. He wasn't on any coverage or anything, though.
No.
I didn't quite keep up with his scores, but he usually goes well in Vegas, though. That's
Yeah, I
kinda
don't think it
his-
was great from the get go for him. Maybe that first round with the weather got his,
Yeah.
mental game kind of in a slump.
Wind is weird. It's hard. But FPO. Have we got the FPO yet?
Yeah, Chantel Budinsky
Yeah. Almost,
She,
almost made the cut.
almost made the cut. Very close. She was only a few strokes off, beating out some solid players. I don't have the list in front of me at the moment, but
And I think
yeah,
it was
she
just
beat out Paige Shue, Holly Finley, Juliana Corver, Cynthia Rashadi.
Evelina.
Played well.
I think she just had a bad first round, too. I think she climbed back pretty well. She was pretty close to Anniken, Norwegian.
I think
They were-
they played together.
Yeah,
I think they're on the
at
same
least
card.
one
I
round.
thought I remember seeing that on one of her Instagram posts.
Yeah.
Yeah, solid. Like you said, I think her first round left a little bit to be desired, and then she did pick up her socks a little bit in the last couple of rounds there. So
Yeah, nice work, Chantel.
yeah, I believe. Well, we might as well get into it a little bit now. She's going to be playing in the Memorial Championship. She's a handful. There's a handful of Canadians in the FPO division down there, including Chantel Budinsky. We have Laura Mason, Kat Johnson, and Jordan Bernalette Mowens. So
Julie's.
Julie's sister?
I think it's sister.
Yes, I believe sister.
I've seen a picture. They look very similar.
Yes, they do. So that's awesome to see them make the trip down to Arizona for that. And I guess we'll just find out how well they do that down there. That's happening this weekend. It's a three round event, I'm assuming.
Yeah, 3 days, 3 rounds.
Yeah, a bunch of Canadians down there. That's going to be a fun time. Channel favorite, Thomas Kuhn, going to be down there playing in the Pro 40 division too.
Well, there you go.
I don't know if this is in the schedule for the podcast, but little Natalie Ryan news.
Yes, well, we can talk about it. We're going to go.
Is she on the registration list?
Oh, right. I don't know.
I feel like this is one that she'd be allowed to play.
Natalie Ryan. She is on the registration list.
Wow.
There you go.
Fireworks.
Yeah.
I heard another lawsuit is pending,
Yeah, I heard about that as well.
suing the PDGA,
1,000 Rated Productions
1000 Rated and Disc
the
Golf Pro Tour.
DGPT.
and Disc Golf Pro Tour. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
that'll be
that's definitely one to pay attention to as well. I believe it was registered in, and the OTB.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
because I guess that's the 10
1,000
10
1,000 rated,
1,000. Yeah.
Because she's claiming some California law
Yeah.
that's
exactly.
a bit more lenient toward. But I don't know if it. I heard this on the Foundation podcast, and they were
Oh, you listen to the Foundation podcast? Sick.
sometimes.
He's
Anyways,
doing research for the pod.
exactly. Hey, this is good info, no?
I got all the info. You go.
All right. Yeah. I'm not sure if this actually applies to professional sports, but they are a little bit more lenient towards trans athletes. I think it's more so like college and school athletes, but yeah, I guess she's shooting her shot. I mean, she doesn't really have any other option.
No.
Yeah, I mean, competing in A tiers and everything else, that's some kind of consolidation. But like, she does kind of have a point with why, like, if you're gonna make this rule, make it a rule across everything. Like, you can't pick and choose where it's right and wrong.
I think it's almost, from a competitive standpoint, it's worse to let her play in lower tier tournaments against less competitive FPO.
Yeah,
Right?
it's gonna rustle more feathers, I think. Even well, she did too well to not get noticed on the Pro Tour. Like, she played very well. Did she get multiple wins? She won an MVP.
Yeah, MVP's the one that
Which is
sticks out. I
huge.
feel like she got a second one, and definitely like making money, finishing in the top
Yeah.
10 very often.
I think she made 60 grand last year.
Yeah.
That's
I
up
didn't
there.
make 60 grand last year.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation, and from my understanding, it's definitely the line that she's taking isn't necessarily a line where she's representing all transgendered women. It's like
More
very
personal.
distinctly they made this rule to
For
prevent
me.
her.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's why that's why, as I understand, she's suing because she feels like it's a targeted
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And I'll touch on the California bit a little bit because I did some reading there. And it's that transgender people, and it's as part of the like California statute, constitution, the deepest root of the law there, says that you will not be discriminated upon for, and then there's the big list, religion, blah, 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 comes down to gender, and it includes, it says sex actually in the original one, and they clarify sex as gender and how you present your gender as well. So it essentially covers transgender, non-binary, XYZ. But it doesn't say anything about athletics,
Okay.
but it does say about your job, like your employment and a bunch of other things. And I think she's saying that there's monetary damages to
sure.
her. She's also suing for punitive damages, which is something interesting, which is essentially to slap the PDJ for attacking her, not for violating the law per se.
I think it was like embarrassment was part of it, and
Yeah, public humiliation.
yeah. I mean, it's a uncharted territories for a lot of sports, or where they draw the line, how they go about it, and I mean, yeah, like it feels bad to say that it only takes her playing well enough for it to get noticed. Like, if she came in 60th, this wouldn't have happened.
no.
But it's only because she was playing so well that, I mean, the PDGA kind of had to address it. And it's unfortunate, or I don't know, unfortunate that she's the only one. Like, it makes it look like a personal attack, but I mean, if there was 10,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, yeah, it doesn't work in professional sports.
It's a tough thing, though, because if you had 10 and 9 of them were coming in the bottom 10% every week,
And one of them
and
is
Natalie's
gonna
being
be-
successful,
Yeah.
then maybe it's a bit harder to call because you obviously have
It's
standout
yeah.
cisgendered women and very bad cisgendered
Yeah.
women.
It's harder to make the argument of she has an advantage.
Yeah. If you have 10 and they're all in the top 25,
Then it's, yeah.
Yeah.
kind of makes you start to think. It'll be interesting because I think this case has a chance to succeed in the state of California for letting her play in the state of California. And if I don't know if they'll get the damages for the PDJ part of it, but say that they uphold that she should be allowed to play in California.
OTB open.
Does OTB just move their
That's the
location?
thing. Yeah.
And they just don't have a DGPT stop in California?
Where most people are saying, why aren't there more?
Exactly. The player base in California is huge.
Masters Cup off the calendar. Now they only have one.
Yep.
Where, I mean, La Mirada used to be or was the Pro Tour around back then? That was a World Tour event.
At least, yeah. I have a World
But-
Tour stamp Lamarada disc
yeah.
kicking around somewhere.
And I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of worthy venues in California to host Pro Tour events. And also just to make the West Coast swing a bit more reasonable. Like
Big
to
travel.
go Jonesboro, Stockton, California, essentially Portland. Like why? That is
Yeah, give us a SoCal
insane
stop.
amount of driving for. I mean, you have a 1 week in between Jonesboro and OTB, but then back to back OTB, Estacada, Beaver State Fling. So it's like it's a lot of money for gas for
Yeah.
3 weeks.
$800 gas bill to take your big rig. Say goodbye to that.
Hopefully, we're cashing.
Yeah. Cashing or we're walking.
It's definitely it'll be definitely be interesting to watch, and it'll be also interesting to see how well Natalie does here. But we can get to the MPO side with the Canadians. There are a few Canadians in this one as well. We have David Hohalter.
Just announced he signed with RPM today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and Limber.
Oh, congratulations to David
Congratulations to New Zealand.
and to
Because
Limber.
they got a great guy. Those whole halter boys, I tell you.
Yeah. We also have Joel Belvant and Tyler Hohalter, related to Dave. And
There's not other whole halters there?
and then Chris Osland. So well represented as far as south tournaments south of the border go. So it'll be interesting to see how well they do. Yeah.
I'm
Any-
Mexican.
I mean, if there's ever to be a Mexican, that's probably the tournament. Like,
Arizona.
driving distance,
Yeah.
you know?
Cool. The only reason we bring this tournament up is because it has been a part of the tour in the past, and it is a big tour, and it sees a lot of professionals come out and play. The other piece of news that I completely forgot about, but I was going to bring up, is that there was a collegiate disc golf event in Canada this past weekend, and Trinity Western University takes it down. They beat out, I don't know all the teams that were involved, but I do know that there was a team from Lethbridge that went out, and it sounds like it was pretty close. I believe they have a singles and a doubles, and I'm not sure what the format is, but it sounded like Lethbridge was up for a little bit, and then I guess they lost it in the doubles, unfortunately. But I guess the tournament was also cut short because we're looking at a photo on one of our friends of the pod, Brett Wells' Instagram.
A lot of snow.
A lot of snow, and that I believe that was at Raptors. So
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know anywhere else off the top of my head that has orange disc catchers. Yeah. And because
Do they have that much snow?
I think they must have just got it
I think they got it
Just
that
got
weekend. Yeah.
during that. Because, that's, I think it's a Chris Hartman initiative. He's a Innovative Ambassador, Ace Runners dude that's always moving and grooving, doing disc golf stuff.
Yeah. So it's awesome to see that collegiate disc golf is starting to take off in Canada as well. Congratulations to Trinity Western for taking that one down. I believe they get to head down to Oregon, I think is what I read. But there's not a lot of info on this, so I'm going to dig a little bit deeper and find out where they're going, what they're doing, and who's all involved. So it's exciting to see disc golf expand to schools.
Yeah. Didn't know that there was collegiate disc golf in Canada.
Like new as of the last 2-3 months.
All right. There's a
Progress,
reason why
baby,
I don't
progress. Time to go back to school.
Yeah, and if you are interested in looking at Lethbridge, there's a nice photo on catb.dg. That's one of Brett's Instagram accounts, and they have those nice jerseys that were designed by yours truly. So
Nice.
They look great.
Are
Yeah.
you insinuating that it's a burner account?
No, it's
No,
just
I think it's
disc
his.
golf.
I think he has one, and then him and his girlfriend have a disc golf account. So
Fair.
no, Brett has a burner
No,
account.
Brett
That's what we're going
refers
with.
to himself as Cat B. That's why it's Cat B DG. No.
He's a big cat fan. They call me Cat
the
Brett.
legit
He's
He's half cat,
B
half
for short.
bumblebee. He's the biggest, bushiest bumblebee you ever
Don't at
saw
me.
with a cat face.
Don't at me.
I might at you, tag you in the pictures of this cat bee when I find him.
Shout out Brett.
Shut up, Brett.
He's are you guys tied for in the fantasy? Or is
I
it
was just gonna say we
just
should
behind
bring up
Ain't
a little
nobody
bit of
touch me in the fantasy.
you? He's
little
like
bit of,
1 point
fantasy.
behind you.
yeah, little fantasy update.
Horseshoes and hand grenades, my friend. Just got that one beside my name.
Jesse, unfortunately, is
Oh,
first in our fantasy league.
I don't know. He could have really ran away with it too if Gannon had something going on and
Yeah, Colt did.
I mean Colt. Yeah, I think Colt Ridolin's due for a few of those here and there.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, totally. I thought he might get by because he throws quite far.
Yeah.
I thought he might get by in Vegas.
On paper, it should suit his game.
Yeah.
And new discs.
That's
DGA.
true. I wasn't thinking of that.
It looked like a lot of people haven't been trying their new discs in the wind in Vegas. Yeah, like Anthony Barella seemed like it got into his head there often.
that wasn't the only thing that got into his head.
That okay? Are we talking about the rangefinder guy getting in the way?
Yeah,
That was one of the more brutal things I've ever seen.
yeah,
And the thing is, like, he got out of the way and then got back in the way.
yeah.
It was like, and like, what are you doing looking through a rangefinder at that point?
While someone's throwing.
And
That's
like, you
not a
have
radar gun.
ample time
Yeah.
to do whatever your job is.
I don't quite understand, but we will get to this a little bit more later into the discussion.
Good.
The other thing that happened was, I don't know if you watched the FPO, but Cat also hit a golf cart that was on from the cart ahead of them, and it would look like it was certainly going to hit the cart path and bounce inbounds, but it stopped and hit the cart. So
Yeah. I heard Paul Macbeth hit a goose,
yes, he did.
not Aaron Gossage.
That goose hit. I think that goose hit got Jesse the win because if Paul Macbeth had been one stroke better, then I think Brett would have taken the week.
Really?
There you go.
Yeah.
One
So who
goose
owes it
away.
to the goose? And
So
we're not talking
Canadian
about Aaron Gossage.
I'm just mad that Paul hit one of our dearly beloved Cobra chickens.
Cobra
Yeah.
chickens.
Yeah.
I take offense to that.
All right. I think now is a good time to thank our sponsor, Disc Golf Park. Disc Golf Park is a unique disc golf course concept developed in Finland back in 2005. It is based on the idea of building sports facilities in an environmentally friendly way. Disc Golf Park provides great experiences for players of all skill levels, from beginners to professionals. Our main ideology is to introduce disc golf to new audiences. There are a number of options to suit any kind of course, and all official disc golf parks include professional and safe course design, Disc Golf Park Pro targets, tee pads, and tee signs, as well as an info board to welcome players to your course. The Disc Golf Park World concept consists of multiple courses designed for different types of players. Multi-golf is a new and fun activity for the whole family. In multi-golf, 3 forms of golf are played: foot golf, disc golf, and park-style pitch and putt. School Disc Golf Park offers the students a new and interesting form of exercise for the physical education classes. A course suitable for schools can be designed even on a small area, for instance, a schoolyard. Furthermore, the costs of school disc golf park are lower than that of regular disc golf parks. We also offer private and group lessons for clinics. For more information, check out the website at discgolfpark.com and request a quote today. And speaking of disc golf design, I think the folks in Summerland might have to reach out to Matt, because there are rumors that there is maybe a course in Summerland. If you are from the Okanagan, Kelowna area, you guys know that area is very underserved as far as disc golf courses, to the amount of players that are there. If you are interested in having a disc golf course, check out Flight and Flow Co's Instagram page. Check out our Instagram page. Get your input into the Summerland City Council, and let's see if we can get a course and the old rodeo lands there. So, and hopefully, and maybe Matt can reach out to them for a preliminary design. So,
Yeehaw.
Course
yeah.
design.
Course design. Awesome. Anything else on the news front that you guys can think of?
Not that I can think of. We talk about Babcock spraining his ankle, jumping out of a tree in round one.
Yeah.
Not his first time either. I was with him on Northwood Black, and this was more than 4 feet. He was up there like 12 feet. And he just jumps down, and I'm like, dude, like you are going to explode your knee one of these days. Exploded his ankle.
There you go. Hopefully he's not
Don't
up for too
jump in
long.
trees.
Well, yeah, I think with a sprain, you're probably looking at minimum 4
He'll,
weeks.
he'll probably play Waco.
If it's truly sprained.
Because a similar thing happened to Vina last year. And I think it was, a Texas event. And he was back, or maybe it was Music City, and he was back like after 2 weeks, playing Champions Cup with a brace. And then he got through the season, eventually not needing the brace. So, I mean, from what it looks like, yeah, I mean, I'm sure you would want to rest it for 4 weeks, but on tour, you might just
Tour goes on without you, and that's every week you can't play is the week you can't make money.
yeah.
Him and Rick saying that he didn't play after extending his time off after All-Stars. Do you think he'll be back for Waco?
Rick, I don't know. I refuse to give any insight on Rick's health because his situation scares me. Like I saw him after OTB, where I think he played the whole event, but he ended up going to San Diego, getting like injections and getting fluid drained. He came back to the house like in the most excruciating pain that I've ever seen somebody in. Like barely can walk, like literally stumbled through the door. We had to like pick him up and take him to the tub because he needed like an ice bath just to like function because he was in so much pain. And his knee was like 3 times the size of a normal knee after getting fluid drained. So like just the inflammation, and I mean, you have to assume that it's Lyme related. And I mean, I'm not sure if he's come out saying this is something that's a byproduct of that, but I mean, I'm sure.
It's pretty safe to assume, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at this point, for
And
sure.
like just the fact that it can flare up like that. And I don't know how debilitating that is for a wrist, but like the knee was insane.
Like basketball size knee.
Like concerned he should amputate it. Like elephant knee. Insane. So, Rick, I hope he gets healthy.
Yeah.
All the best.
Yeah, definitely. It's a scary thing. It's something that he'll be dealing with for the rest of his life.
And I mean, it's a good thing that he's so conscious and looks like he's doing all the right things, taking care of his body, big on the rest and recovery, not big on supplements or any of that extra. And I mean, I don't know, maybe some antibiotics here and there might be good, but I mean, it seems like he's dedicated to stay on top of it. So I'm sure he's going to get the most out of it that he could possibly get, but it's still scary because there's people who get fully debilitated by this, Lyme's.
My old family dog got Lyme disease. And her chest cavity filled with fluid to the point they were draining it every second day until she just drowned in her own fluids, man.
Tough.
It's a dark thing. Hopefully it stays in Rick's knee now that I've said that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, all the best for Ricky Wysocki. Hopefully he can return soon.
Someone drafted that guy in our fantasy league.
First overall.
Look, when he's healthy, he's the best player in the world.
Should have taken Manabu.
Rick will be fine. It comes and goes. I still have faith. And I got a bench spot, so, Jeremy Coling, who is also injured.
You drafted Jeremy.
And Nate Sexton.
Yeah.
I love it.
You have both the Monahanos and Big Sexy.
That's amazing. It might be the greatest
Theme draft.
meme fantasy team. You're really putting your reputation on the line here, Matt.
Did you just say putting your reputation on the lime?
Too soon, Matt. Too soon.
I will say that both of my FPO picks played really well. Alexis played really well. Kona played really well.
Yeah.
Pretty happy with it overall.
Yeah. Definitely. Why don't we get into a little discussion and we'll end off with questions from Max. So we will get back to, we touched on it a little bit, spectators, bystanders affecting gameplay. What does the Disc Golf Pro Tour have to do to sort of mitigate this? And is it something that needs to be implemented in not just like the Disc Golf Pro Tour level? And is it something that needs to get implemented in sort of all levels? Obviously, you go to at Rundle Park in Edmonton, it's a public park. We played there during tournaments and there's people walking on the fairway. Is there anything that tournament directors can do to help this and make sure things like what happened this past weekend don't happen again?
I'm taking this first because Max has actually seen these events, so we'll know what actually goes on. When it comes to people walking through, TDs just need to be firm and enforce their permits because you can't host these events without having a permit from the city for the park space for your use. It sucks to have to be the guy to tell a picnicking family that they need to go away. But when you've got potentially, 72 to 400 players relying on things running smoothly and on time, sometimes you got to be the villain. With respect to like the Vegas situation, it's tough because it's a volunteer. I was going to say people like spectators need to respect the spectator line and not enter the playing area. Same thing with conventional golf. Like if Tiger hits someone in the chest with a ball and it falls off him, you play it, right? And I think that's fine as long as they're in a spectator area because that that's essentially a hazard in its own right. When it's a volunteer, you just kind of have to shake it up to being either bad luck or bad training to your volunteers. Like, as a TD, you need to have time to talk to these people and say, this is the process we're going to go through to make sure things go as smoothly as possible. Mistakes happen, and I think that's just what happened there. But I don't know what else you can do without limiting the spectator experience, which hurts the product and people's enjoyment of the event. And you obviously need the volunteers for things to run smoothly as well.
Yeah, I mean, on a pro tour, from a pro tour standpoint, and from a Vegas, like it's tough when it's this like open ball golf course, guys throwing 700 feet, like when you're that far away. And it's another thing with the rangefinder guy that is just inexcusable. But and I can't remember if Barella was first on the box or not, because if he was, I can understand if he's like
I think he was
getting a reading, but like I don't know what he's really doing with the rangefinder, because like is he just gonna go to the disc and then laser the tee pad again, or like what?
Yeah,
I don't
why
know what
before the
reading.
throw?
Yeah, I'm
think
not sure.
I think he was watching
Through it at like binoculars.
Yeah,
I guess it does
that's
have
the
a little
only
bit
thing
of
I
the
can think of.
zoom.
That's crazy. That's degenerate
Can't think of
behavior.
why else it would
Like
be.
if you're that keen on getting on like that view,
Because if he had a
can't
rangefinder, like he'd either be working for one of the post production companies, or actually the DGN was putting like a
Live.
Google Earth 3D map of everything, but nobody had shot yet. So what was
and
it?
like if that, then you need to be by the disc after it lands,
Yeah.
and then
So-
shoot it.
I don't
There's-
think anyone could have got closer than him to the
Yeah.
disc.
Anyways, we'll chalk that up as just
To be fair, he knew exactly how far AB's shot went
Yeah,
before
he
anybody
made
else.
sure.
to the
Yeah.
inch.
But I mean, like with the golf cart, I didn't see
Don't
it,
throw OB.
but at the same time, why is there a golf cart out there? Is
They had the scores and everything, and on the back of them.
okay? So it's a like
It was a
Tournament staff.
every card had a golf cart assigned to them.
all right. That's
And
just
it was the golf cart from the chase card. I don't know what it was doing there at that particular moment
Yeah.
because the chase card was on the next hole. Yeah, it was just a interesting. The guy who driving the car just didn't even seem phased. Just like looked back and was just like, oh,
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, I mean, like it doesn't look good with all these ropes. Like I remember first time seeing Emporia we were there for DDO first and then Worlds. They set up an unimaginable amount of like just ropes, like one rope for, I think or there's two sets of ropes and like it's secondary and like VIP passes or something. So there's ropes everywhere. It looks terrible. Like it aesthetically looks very corny and just amateur. But yeah, at what point are just crowd control? You just have to take like human error out of it. Like you just can't stand there. But then again on the Vegas courses where guys are just blasting shots over like I don't know if there's a lot of like over different fairways, but if you see like the Eagle McMahon shot on, I don't know, like a 700-foot par 4 that he puts it to 35 feet, and that like he had to have been just blasting over at least spectators. So it's like you can't fault every spectator for not seeing all these shots. But, and then, geese are going to geese. Sorry, Paul.
So I was gonna kind of bring this up as like maybe a discussion point, but and I already think I know the answer or what you guys are gonna say anyways. What's the difference between say that just in a hypothetical situation, the guy with the rangefinder is a goose with a rangefinder, and he hits the goose instead. What's the difference between those two scenarios?
Sentience.
Yeah, exactly. Homeboy with the rangefinder has all the faculties to know what he's doing is wrong and has all the abilities to avoid it.
Yep.
Goose is pooping and eating grass seed.
And like even if it hits the cameraman, I'll give the cameraman benefit of the doubt because he's doing a job that he should be doing at the moment.
Yeah, and catch cam has to stand somewhere. Like it's easy to say, well, why was the catch cam in the fairway? Well, catch cam's got to stand somewhere, and if you're standing somewhere, there's a chance you might get hit.
Yeah.
And catch cam guys are pretty good at getting out of the way.
Yeah, I haven't seen
Impressively good.
Yeah, I haven't seen a catch cam guy get hit ever, like on live. I've definitely heard of it happening, but yeah, it just seems like they always get out of the way.
Yeah.
Where, when a guy is standing there with a rangefinder for God knows what reason.
And I'm curious if it's more to do with like it seems like there's a lot more people involved in this year's production. There's 2 cards of post production for MPO and FPO, and then of course live. So there's just a lot more moving parts. Like Matt mentioned, they had the new sort of feature where like their birdie zone and stuff like that. There's just a lot of people involved, and I think it's maybe just a matter of shaking off that rust. So hopefully,
Or getting
hopefully that gets better.
people who know what they're doing. It
Yeah.
could have been just a like you said, a
Volunteer that just wanted a nice view.
Yeah, a really good view through a rangefinder.
Yeah, as inexcusable as it is, like you feel terrible for the guy. Like you could see how awful he felt.
He had to have had the
immediately.
worst few days after that. Like just
Also,
Well, should we talk about that?
I was watching on my phone, so maybe people had a better view of this. But to me, it looked like the disc was coming down on a cut angle at the ground anyway, and then it hit his heel. Like I'm not 100% convinced it actually affected the flight of the disc that much. I think it was going to cut roll off the ground and go into the bunker anyway.
Potentially,
would have escaped.
as soon as he gets hit,
I think if anything, it would have got onto the golf green on the other side of the fairway where Eagle almost went out of bounds.
Yeah.
But because I don't think it was I think it hit him and redirected right into the bunker where it would have hit the ground safe and then skipped left. But
Possibly. Anyway, Jesse, I'm sorry to interrupt.
hearsay.
no, it's okay. As soon as he gets hit, you eliminate the infinite amount of what if possibilities where it comes inbounds.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the only thing. And what I was going to say, talk about the other thing. Drew's hoodie he's selling. I don't know how I feel about that.
Drew's got
good.
some.
Yeah. He doesn't care.
I know
No,
he doesn't care, but
He listens to the podcast, but he don't care.
is it even funny though?
No, he's lacking basic human empathy. Like if you saw that, man, that guy had the worst possible day. Like he went from like having the best day of his life out there doing range finding for a DGPT event to feeling like the worst person in the world instantly. Like you don't have to pile onto the guy. You just talk about him in a podcast afterwards.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I also lack basic human empathy, but I also think I have a decent sense of humor. Am I purchasing a hoodie to have for a year for the rest of my life to reference a one-shot thing that affected who finished fifth or whatever at the Las Vegas Challenge?
no.
I think that's part of his shtick, though. Like that's part of his joke is coming out with these hoodies. He's come out with a lot of different hoodies. Come out with a lot of different shirts. The thing that irks me, and I like Drew Gibson. He's got great form. I love watching him throw. He's a businessman. He's trying to make as much money and market himself and other people. I don't know about other people, but he's in my mind, he's profiting off of other people's stuff. Like
I'd say he would be, but
I don't think he.
I'm coming back to: is it profitable if it's not funny?
This
you
is
sell 8 sweaters.
This is just a making fun of a guy and thinking he's funny.
Yeah.
Certainly not a business venture, but I think this is his direction of just making these hoodies for
fun.
So I don't know. I don't
think he's a particularly astute business person.
I don't know. Have you seen his house?
Newsflash: Drew Gibson, not particularly astute.
If I had to go out on a limb, I would say he probably comes from a family of astute business people.
I don't know.
Just a guess.
I don't know. Seems to do pretty well for himself.
Oh, I'm sure he does. And the follow-up to that was the Las Vegas Challenge Facebook posting, heck you, Drew Gibson. He's a volunteer that was working his butt off. It's really gross that you've done this and tried to humiliate him. You guys see that one?
No, I did not.
Well, you guys talk about something else. I'll find it on Facebook.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's one of those things. It's just part of the game. Unfortunately, it happened. Like they did the right thing. They just kind of shrug it off. Poor Anthony, though. It obviously affected him because I feel like he maybe didn't completely fall off the rails after that, but I feel like it definitely affected his game from then on. He was kind of still staying in the hunt until that happened. So
it's weird how well he played because they were saying how he hadn't made a circle 2 putt yet.
Yeah.
I don't know if he made one all weekend. And to play as well as he did is crazy.
It's crazy. And yeah, he had a lot of in the second and third round, he had a lot of cage.
Yeah. A lot of
really, really close putts. That really hot round that he had, I think it was the second round, was smoking hot. He missed some putts on that one too. So yeah.
Jesse.
Okay, so they've actually deleted it now. But I'm so fast they can't stop me.
Screenshotted it.
You better believe it. I got everything. The post reads, So, for those of you that have an Instagram account, please see how Drew Gibson is making fun of an LVC volunteer who's only doing what the media team told him to do, and let Drew know how you feel about him profiting and selling product based on what is 100% a fluke accident. Let's show support for as a unified team on this harassment to one of us. This is totally uncalled for. The issue has been forwarded to the PDJ and DGPT, signed by the tournament directors.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit of an overreaction.
Yeah. No, it's a non-issue.
Yeah.
Drew is going to Drew. He's a troll. And that's no surprise to anybody if you've ever stumbled across his social medias. He enjoys that that kind of humor. And rumors that he's behind PDGA Rodman. So, and that's the ultimate
Troll.
yeah, trolling.
PDJ Rodman, like, kind of funny, though. Anything Drew done? Kind of not funny.
I don't know.
I think kind of funny.
Drew's the kind of guy that like copies and pastes other funny content and doesn't give credit to it.
I liked when the Gibson Industries logo was also just like the Corvette logo with the words changed, and then also the Gibson guitar font.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the finish, or even just like finish line. Is that not
Is that a
copyrighted
Camaro
by?
type thing?
Well, I mean, that's a like shoe retailer, like Foot Locker in the States. Finish line.
Yeah.
So, I don't know
Not a
how-
big adherer to intellectual property laws. Also, I think he sold
Originality.
discs with the Jumpman logo on them.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely dyes a lot of discs with the jump, but I don't know if that's.
It's
No.
very illegal.
That's very heavily protected logo.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's super. If he was anything more than a famous disc golfer, he would have been cease and desisted into the Stone Age.
Yeah.
Like dying it on his own personal stuff, they'll never chase you. But if he ever
But
tried
like, how
to
is he
sell
selling it? On his website or?
it, is he selling Jumpman dies?
He has in the past.
Yeah, that could get you in trouble.
I feel like there was a whole discussion on that at some point. Anyways, fan of Drew Gibson playing.
For sure.
Not the biggest fan of his business ventures,
For sure.
personally.
Winning me this disc golf pool.
Yes, currently. All right, let's get to some questions from Max. We posted on Instagram. There may be a few that still come in here. The story's going to be up for another 12 hours or so. You ready for some of these? Some of them hit pretty hard. This first one here. Mitch Williams asks,
Oh no.
Yes, Mitchell.
besides the Williams brothers, who has been your greatest inspiration / motivator?
Wow. Besides the Williams brothers. I'm gonna have to throw my brother's hat in the or name in the hat. Is that the same?
Hat in the ring.
Hat in the ring. Yeah, I think we've both pushed each other through the years. Both have had similar, career paths. Definitely, athletics have been a big part of our lives, and growing up. I mean, yeah, we're 3 years apart, but we did a lot of competing against each other in the backyard, and yeah, I mean, he's shown that he's capable of great things, and I think, yeah, we're both kind of pushing the envelope for each other.
All right.
Thanks, Mitch Williams.
Ella has 2 questions. So the first one is, what's the hardest thing with disc golf?
The hardest thing with disc golf.
And I'll just ask this next one too, because you can tie it probably in. When did you start playing?
I started playing probably 2002,
Grade 2.
grade 2.
Dang, dog.
I mean, probably at that point just throwing in DTSS field. But the hardest thing about disc golf, I think this changes a lot throughout as you progress through disc golf. But probably just like consistency, like, and just knowing that consistency will come, and like the patience to actually, yeah, be patient enough for that to come to fruition. Because you put in all this work, And sometimes it just doesn't come together. Sometimes the course is a little different to your play style, or there's things that you can't control. But yeah, consistency.
Cool. Brett Hanna asks
The shoe swap slinger
the
himself.
shoe swap slinger. He says, "Good luck, Max." First of all, and then he says, "Best pre-round meal."
Pre-round meal. I guess it depends if it's a pre-lunch or or after lunch. I'm a big oats for breakfast. But for a I'm a big Chipotle fan as well for our American listeners. Big fan of Mexican, so probably something a little spicy.
All right, spicy.
Yeah.
You can wake up and play some disc golf.
Yeah.
What Zach Opine?
Hey.
Opine?
Zach.
Zach
Zach was
asks.
our hockey goalie growing up.
Oh, there you
and
go.
He's a
Also
pro
my
skier.
ski bum buddy.
Yeah.
Well, he asks, what happened to the ski career?
Yeah. So about that. I mean, Zach, yeah. I don't even remember when those days were, but Zach and I went up to the hill like every day together. But then Zach got really good. So I don't know. I think it was also kind of towards the hockey time as well. Started playing hockey, stopped having time to go up to the hill, and then I played basketball and volleyball, both winter sports, and it just kind of took a back seat. And like I started skiing when I was 2 years old, and my mom and dad worked up at the hill, so it was like we were up there all the time. Dabbled in some ski racing, and maybe just kind of got burnt out. Kind of wanted to switch things up, but I definitely still enjoy it. But just don't get out all the time anymore. Zach Opine.
There you have it. Have you skied at all this winter?
I have
Nice.
once. It was a great time.
Cool. Good. There was an avalanche near Pano today.
There's
Yeah.
3 helicopters that flew by.
It
Oh, it
was
was like 6 or 7
bad.
that flew over top of us.
It was bad.
Well, 6
bad.
go back the other direction.
Anyways, well, just a little side note. Hopefully everyone is okay in that. Justin James Pros asks, how vital would you say it is to pursue your passions and dreams above materialistic things?
Wow.
Deep.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a crisis that a lot of people face in their lives, when, your passions might not pay the bills. You might have to make a tough choice. But, I mean, I think everybody deep down wants to follow their passions, and it's just a matter of making that work. And a matter of it actually being possible to make a living off of your passion. So, I mean, I'd say it's very important, but I can definitely understand people who find it hard, because in some instances it is very hard to leave your dreams behind and take the corporate job.
You know what the best part about disc golf is? You chase your dreams and materialistic things.
Hey, we're all hoarders.
So true. Especially when you have a bunch of discs in your bathroom.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Looking at your like stock that you have, I might have had more discs in my bathroom than you have left for store stock.
All right. Justin actually has a second part to that question. He says, and in order to pursue your dreams, how important is belief and fortitude? How important belief/fortitude is, and where does it come from? So how important is belief and fortitude, and where does it come from?
Belief in fortitude. Definitely a personal question. I mean, a lot of people might say, might go the religion route, might go just, I mean, I think it comes down to your upbringing, your beliefs. I mean, fortitude, How does that come
It's like
into
I'm guessing like mental fortitude, your ability
Mental
to stick to
fortitude.
your dreams and
yeah,
stick to your
discipline,
passions.
determination. I think that's all. Yeah, I mean, it's athletics. I think you have it or you don't. It's kind of hard to instill that into a person. And yeah, I mean, it's important. But I think I've grown up always, yeah, playing a lot of competitive sports and always wanting the most out of it. So it kind of comes naturally to me, I think.
All right. We have one last question from Instagram. Well, actually, it's two, but they're both from the same person. Shout out to Greg Kern. He asks, who are you most excited to hang out with again?
Who am I? This is a long list. But I'm going to go like a dark horse.
Don't forget,
Don't say Brody Smith. No Dark Horse.
Kyle Klein listens to the podcast, so just remember.
He's with Cynthia.
And I don't think I actually hung out with him last year at all. Nor did I have Brody Smith.
So next question, who is the newest person? Which new person are you going to hang out with?
New person. All right. Who am I looking forward to?
Linus.
Linus is up there.
Yeah.
It's been a while. I mean, we lived together for
Drew Gibson.
not Drew Gibson. Albert, I'm looking forward to seeing again. Albert and I get together pretty well. Gel. New people. You know, I didn't really see much of Hjalte, Danish Discmania sponsored guy. He played Vegas, playing Memorial this weekend. I actually haven't looked at his schedule, how deep he's going in his first little stint, but he hung out with Linus and them quite a bit, but he stopped his U.S. tour and I started mine. So yeah, maybe spend some time with Hjalte.
Nice. I've got a great Danish joke for you to run by Hjalte when you see him.
All right.
It doesn't translate great in English, but basically the English translation is, what rhymes with Mark Knopfler?
Mark.
And the answer is, the singer and guitar player for Dire Straits, 80s band.
One of the
potato.
best guitar players.
Potatoes.
Because potatoes, Kartoffler.
All right. I won't promise that I'll tell him that joke, but
It doesn't work as good in English. I promise
Did I
you,
get it
the
right?
Danes
What's,
love
what's
it.
potato in Danish?
Yeah, you nailed it.
Nice.
I know things, Max.
sorry, what?
Nothing will ever make me money or make me better at disc golf, but I know things.
All right. Greg's last question is, how much will you really miss Jesse?
Not at all.
Finally, an honest answer. It's A&A.
Good riddance.
Yeah.
No, I mean, we had a good time. We had a good
I
off season.
tried not to ask you to hang out too much because we were working together, and if you push it somewhere in the middle, my God, I couldn't look at you across the room if we had some shit go down. So the last 2 weeks, I would have hung out with you every second day, and we would have had a good time. But then you had RV shit.
Yeah, it's been hectic, and yeah, I mean it's tough. I forgot how much work it is to plan this stuff out, and when you have an RV that is having issues, I'm not an RV like aficionado. Like I don't know it inside and out. So learned a lot. Had to learn a lot. So I mean, it could have been a lot more laid back this off season if everything was a bit more smooth sailing. But yeah,
It's all right.
We'll see each other again soon.
Yeah.
Sometime, maybe.
When Jesse goes on tour. So I actually had a question when I was on my way home from work. I said we were doing this, and Jay had a question. We can all answer this one. Everyone always asks, what's your favorite course? What's the favorite course you ever played? Which course do you want to play? What's your least favorite course that you've ever played?
which one I'm not looking forward to. You know what? I was on a Swedish disc golf podcast yesterday, and I think this question came up. I think I said De La Vega.
Okay.
And I mean, that's not on the schedule this year, so that might be cheating. But another one I really didn't enjoy. I mean, it might be like a cop out to say like Northwood Black or just those really hard courses, but it's also like you feel good about tackling it. And I don't think I think Northwood Black is a really fun course, a lot of fun shots, but just extremely punishing. Where De La Vega, I think it's a lot of gimmicks in my opinion, a lot of gimmicky shots where it's a huge advantage to have played the course a million times and just kind of know the nuances of these flex shots over, the trees, and just the randomness of the ground play annoyed me a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's a good answer. Jesse, Matt, do you guys have a least favorite court that you've played?
No.
Doesn't have
You
to be
can
on the
have
tour.
a fun as an amateur player, or technically a professional player playing at an amateur level. You can have fun on every course. And also, I wouldn't want somebody listening who designed a course that I list to feel like I'm crapping on their
Bashing
course.
their course.
Yeah. But you can have as much fun as your imagination will let you. Like if there's a course that's too easy, you can make it artificially hard. If there's a course that have trees where there shouldn't be trees, you can, not care that there's trees there. That's one of the great things about disc golf at an amateur level or non-serious level is that you can make your own version of the game, make your own version of fun. Is that diplomatic enough?
That was super diplomatic. Great
All right.
answer.
Also, Raven's Nest.
Ha!
I'm just kidding. I want to go back there and play good there. I'm looking forward to it.
I want to finish some more work there. Honestly, I harbor feelings for courses that stick with me forever, and it's not even if they're bad courses. MacArthur Island bothers me, and we're about to play TCO there. I heard they paid their boy EMAC to come up and design the course, a tune of like $25,000 to make a park course that any number of their club members could have done and put the money somewhere else. That's my hot take for everybody. But honestly, course is fine.
Carrie listens to this podcast.
I know. I hope Carrie hears it and understands my feedback. The course is a good course for the size and scale of it. But when you think about the money you put into the design and bringing people up, unless you think that having his name on it is like a big marketing scheme, I'm not sprinting to run back there with the extra money that they spent by having him come up. And I think the design itself isn't like the most inspired, oh wow, no one would have ever thought to do this design either.
I personally will defend it a little bit just because my noodle arm actually enjoys that course. And it is one that I think there's not enough of in the area. There's a lot of wooded disc golf in the area. There's not a lot of open golf. And I find that is kind of that it's a good, decent mix there. You feel like you're in an open golf course without being on some giant, massive golf course. So for us,
that's because it's a decommissioned golf course.
I know, and that's what I nice. And I totally understand. Designing it was, kind of designs itself being a decommissioned golf course. That being said, I still enjoy it, and I actually it's one of those courses that I tell my brothers to go play because they're pretty new. And that kind of gives them the feeling of being on these open courses. My course that I choose to dislike strongly is actually Kelowna. And it's not that it's like when you are alone and you play it, it's not the worst. It's not a bad layout. There's some fun holes. Have you played Kelowna at all? It's 9 baskets, 18 holes. So automatically problems. There are tee pads in the middle of fairways. It's just the way that you have to have your head on a swivel.
Chaos.
People probably get hit there. I'm guessing people get hit there all probably every single day that there's people there because it's so busy and it's kind of scary. So I think that I would just want to reiterate go to the Summerland City Council, summerland.ca, look for that rodeo, the rodeo master plan, get your 2 cents in and take the survey. It means a lot because just in general, the Okanagan needs more disc golf courses, and I think there's a real opportunity there to make a fantastic disc golf course, and it will help alleviate the pressure off of the Kelowna course. So,
and if you know somebody there, we have a company here at Disc Golf Park by Discmania that is equipped to design and provide all of the course architecture and infrastructure
For less than 25K?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
yes. Yeah. Shout out to our sponsor, Disc Golf Park. And we're not saying that just because they're our sponsor. You know, we love their baskets. We put their baskets in before they were sponsored. Two of the Raven's Nest that Matt was joking about earlier. Great baskets. And Matt's a fantastic guy and a great course designer. So definitely go check him out.
And just to reiterate, we're not talking about me, Matt. There's a whole other
yes,
Matt
there's a
with
whole
different last name. He's involved with Disc Golf Park.
It's so funny. My
Another Matt.
wife was like, I have 2 Matts. I have a Matt that works out that I have at work, and we have a Matt that was an ex-employee, and then there's you, Matt, and then there's another Matt, and there's a Max, and she's just like, I don't know who you're talking about most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matty is the Matt for Disc Golf Park. So if you ever hear somebody talking about Matty,
It's probably not Matt Lizak that
probably
they're
not
talking
me.
about.
Nobody's called me Matty in years.
Yeah. All right. Join our Patreon. Become a patron. Patreon.com/parkpro. We really appreciate everything that you guys do for us. You're making this podcast and some coverage that will be coming out shortly. You make it all possible. So thank
And
you so much.
if you stay tuned, and if you're a Patreon, you might get a sneak peek into a interview that we have conducted with a guaranteed soon-to-be Hall of Fame disc golfer.
I like
I'm
that.
here every week. What?
He's also 6'6".
Yeah.
They don't. Not all of them know that I'm not 6'6". I can be 6'6" in their mind for a little while.
Yeah, so go check that out. We will be dropping that interview first on our Patreon. They'll get the sneak peek for about a week or so, and then we will drop it on the regular podcast. Yeah, very excited about that. That's definitely a must listen to. So go check it out. Patreon.com/parkpro. For as little as $1.50 per month, you could support us too. All right, boys, you guys got anything else?
I'm gonna kiss Max off the podcast.
Yeah, this is virtual group hug for Matt. So it's
Oh,
been
I got
awesome.
something. I'm gonna legit try and grow this mustache. I'm working so hard for the people on YouTube that can see this slight shadow on my lip.
It looks better in person.
It's the lighting in here for sure.
Thanks, guys. Thanks. So hoping to rock this all the way through to TCO, which is mid-May.
Nice.
It'll either be exactly like this still, or I'll have the dirtiest mustache in disc golf. We'll see how it goes.
So catch us on YouTube to catch Jesse's mustache week
Budding
after week.
Mustache.
Max, thank you so much for joining us for the last few weeks. It's been an honor. It's been great to have you. We haven't really needed to bring on any interviewees because we've had you here to chat about all our disc golf pro tour needs, and yeah, you've been phenomenal addition. Hopefully we can stay in touch over the season. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a lot of fun. Thanks for including me. And yeah, hopefully we can do something while I'm on tour. Maybe a little check-in, mid-season check-in. Yeah, or if something goes down, emergency
Totally.
podcast.
sounds great.
Let's go.
Yeah, and we're counting on you to bring in those podcast interviews as well. So
Yeah,
yeah,
of
you are
course.
now an unofficial employee.
Ella Hansen. Answer your
I
DMs.
feel like Ella would do it if she
For sure.
noticed the DM.
Yeah, she'd probably just like, who's this
She's
park
coming
pro
up
person?
playing tournaments and running clinics in BC.
Yeah,
I don't think she's scared of coming on a Canadian.
and she's
podcast.
awesome. So
Yeah.
That too.
we only interview awesome people.
I have wondered if it was Ella that wrote in the question, but I also have a cousin named Ella.
It was probably your cousin.
Okay.
Yeah, it was not Ella Hansen.
Unless it's Ella's burner.
Could be Ella. All right, Matt. Take us.
All right, guys. From all of us here at Parked Pro, lycka till med turnéen, Max.